City Jazz Sessions is about great music, arts, and entertainment. We are located in St. Louis, Missouri, and available to performance art lovers worldwide. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. You can email us at cityjazzsessions@gmail.com.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't seen Tommy in a long time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
started me off. You know, well, I started off by with a woman named Miss Burke in the summer of
Okay.
nine of what is that, 94.
Mm-hmm.
Started off in the summer at VAP at that time. You could go come in early, do a summer school program,
Mm.
and get some extra credits. And so I took up strings because I didn't know. At first, I wanted to play guitar. No, I'm sorry. First, I was going to play drums.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so my dad, what I used to do was I used to watch my dad practice,
Mm-hmm.
and so um, he's watching me, and I'm watching him. But I was like, okay, I'm into the rhythm of it and stuff like that. So I didn't have a drum set, so he bought me two sticks and a practice pad, and then so I'm practicing on the stool, on the chair and stuff. So this is one of those chairs that had the pleather bottom on it, the
Right,
cushion.
right, right.
I tore that mug up with the sticks hitting the pad.
Now,
And
does
so he's
Wayne
like,
play drums too? I know he's
no,
okay
no.
because he's an insane bass player and
Yes,
great singer. Right.
yeah, yeah. So he was just like, I remember him watching him learn James Jamerson bass lines on certain songs like Don't Mess with Bill and For Once in My Life, uh on just a regular AM FM cassette radio. The
Mm.
bass frequency was probably
Right.
horrible. Couldn't
Right.
hear the bass for all you hear is treble and
Mm-mm.
but he's nailing it.
Oh
Like he's
yeah. Oh,
nailing it.
completely.
I'm like, man. But yeah, but yeah, so I wanted to play drums at first, and then when I got to VAP, I started off in the summer of '94 and started on upright. And so it was like, man, okay, this is a lot of bass. This is a lot of instrument, period. And so I was like, okay, now so then went home and first week of school, went to the class, and he's a guitar player. And
Mm-hmm.
it was like, okay, either play guitar or bass. And so I had to make a instant pick like that. And I said, guitar. Well, no more guitars available. All we have is bass.
Well,
And
I'm
I said,
glad you
okay,
ended up on the
well,
bass.
right. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. And so from there, like, and Mr. Moore, what he did was he taught me how to play music and understand the bass, even though he's not a bass player. He's a
Right, right,
guitarist.
right.
So,
Tommy's a
so
guitarist. Yeah.
right. So, and that's just through the line thing.
Great
Okay, guitar,
musician too.
great
Great
musician,
musician.
great
Yeah.
musician. He taught me how to play music and the bass theory wise.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Like theory, like he was adamant about reading and knowing. Like I was a junior in high school, knowing how to do part writing, figured
Mm.
bass,
Yeah, and
figured bass, and
that's
all that
not
stuff.
normal in the educational system. No,
Exactly.
that's
And then
not
when I
normal.
went to college,
Mm-mm.
they tested me and they wanted me to be in a uh
Advanced class.
no, lower, like an uh introductory theory class. I said, I mean, I know all this stuff, so I don't know why, so the teacher didn't believe me, and so I said, I know how to do part writing. He said, no, you don't. I said, yes, I do. So he put a problem on the board. I solved it right there, and he was like, well, why are we trying to put you in an intermediate class? I was like, I don't. That's what
Right,
I'm trying
right.
to
That's
figure out.
right. That's wild.
you know?
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, and
Yeah, that
then
would yeah, that's not normal to get that. So yeah, I
right.
didn't know Tommy started you off on that.
Yeah, he started me and Corey off on theory hard, like, and then that next year, like after a year of
Mm-hmm.
playing bass and trying, like I could barely get through Fever, because I was like so nervous. I could barely play Fever. I was like, oh
Oh, that's
god,
funny.
oh god. But I could play the
That's
hell
funny.
out of Sophisticated Lady.
Right, right,
I
right,
could
right.
not play Fever, but I could play the hell out of a Latin version of Sophisticated Lady. I'm like,
That's
yeah, I'm
funny.
moving now. and then bass lines at the same time. Like I was walking the blues 1/5 octave,
Right,
no
right,
third
right,
in there,
right. No,
just
yeah.
trying to figure it out my way around the bass. But then the next year, like over the summer, I really cracked down. My mom bought me a bass
Mm-hmm.
to practice on. I practiced on this bass called Gremlin.
Yeah, I ain't hip to that. A
Sh-
gremlin.
short scale, short scale, damn near look like a ukulele.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look for that after the
Oh,
after the
dude,
show.
when you see it, it only come in one color, black.
Oh, that's funny.
and
Gremlin.
so and so I used
Okay.
to practice. I practiced all that summer, and then the fall came along, and late fall is normally when we have auditions for all district and all state
Mm-hmm.
um, for high school. And from that point on, I won all district. This is my second year playing. I won district and state those years after.
Mm.
You know, so
No,
and that
you
just
got it, dude. I'm
thank you,
telling you.
man. Thank
Always
you.
been talented. I'm still waiting on you to sing, but that's cool.
Oh no, that ain't gonna happen. I
Third
didn't get
album.
that. I didn't get right. The third album, you may hear me.
Jamal Nichols after dark.
Make sure I have a glass of cognac
Right, cognac, right. Some
and some
cashew.
honey and some honey.
Right, right, right. Honey coated cashews. Some blueberry MD 2020.
That's
Right? You
it.
know
See,
about
look,
that, right?
blueberry, right?
Blueberry. Man, it's
Oh
too
man.
funny. Tell me about Black Frequencies.
Okay. Black Frequencies was a well is a project that I did. I actually
Mm-hmm.
took my time on it. It took a few years.
Mm.
Because I wanted it to be right, but then also my schedule was so busy with playing with Porter,
Mm-hmm.
with Gregory Porter, that it took up so much time. So whenever I got off the road, so you talking about we doing. I think my first record came out in 2014. This one came out last year, so 6 years in between.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it 16? No, I think it was six. I can't remember, but one of the two. It
Okay.
was either 14 or 16.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, we would do Gregory before the pandemic. We would be out 200 plus dates a year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard when you're trying to balance
Mm-hmm.
life and music and everything, and then being a side man and then being a front man and working on your own stuff. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm gonna put my stuff on the back burner because okay, I got to pay these bills. You know what I'm saying? And there's no telling what the future will hold for my stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll put it out when the time is right. And so over the years, I just collected tunes and wrote tunes and just came up with different ideas and different songs. Like I even had like on this record, I think there are 10 songs. And I had another extra 5 or 6 that was laying in the cut,
Oh,
you
beautiful,
know,
beautiful.
that I didn't even put on here. I wanted to, but I was like, I don't want to make it too long.
Mm-hmm.
So I just saved. So those are going on the third record, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So this song, this record, uh, I wanted to use like the first record. I wanted to use a lot of St. Louis
Mm-hmm.
musicians
Right.
because we do have a voice in this music community that a
Almost
lot of
definitely.
people don't know about, but a lot of people do know about, but
Mm-hmm.
they forget. And so just wanted to reiterate that, and then also bring in some new faces
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of people may not know, um, like Zeta Lioness, who she goes by
Mm-hmm.
Zeta Lioness. She's
Right.
local here in St. Louis, but I had her voice is unique, and so I
Very.
wanted to feature her on a unique song, which is what's that Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
Right. Right.
Which was an
Yeah.
arrangement
Great
by
arrangement you did. Right.
Adam Manis, and
Okay.
the horn stuff was done by oh god, I'm drawing a blank for some reason. See, it'll come
Oh,
back
no
to me.
problem. Yeah,
It'll
it's
come back to me.
amazing. Yeah, they can check it out. Just yeah,
Yeah.
just encourage them to go to the. Where's your music located at? Where can everybody
Uh,
find it?
You can find it all on everywhere from Spotify to Tidal to Apple Music to Amazon Music. Everywhere, it's everywhere
And just
that you
look
can
up Jamal
download it.
Nichols, right?
Yep, Jamal Nichols, JahmalNichols, and you can also order the physical copies right here.
There you go.
The physical CD. You can order that on my website, JamalNichols.com.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful. Yeah, I love your website. I just checked that out too.
Thank you,
Hey,
thank you. Yeah,
tell
it's
me a little bit about your yeah, well, yeah, yeah. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh no, no, I
Uh,
was just
you-
gonna say the website was done by a company called Sundial Agency, the Sundial Agency,
oh, beautiful work,
and
man.
so
Beautiful
and
work.
so they sometimes they post for my pages, for my Instagram and my fan page on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
love the
they
work they
do an
do.
amazing they do an amazing job, with everything. So very professional.
Yeah, everything is nice and shiny.
Yes, you got to look brand new,
Brand new,
like some
baby.
fresh nickels, you know.
I love it.
Yes.
Now, also, congratulations, also too for the documentary you just did. Tell us a
Oh
little bit
yes,
about that. Yeah.
man. So again, during the pandemic, a friend of mine reached out to me and was like, have you ever did a documentary before? And in the back of my mind, I'm like, eh, no, not really, but I got an idea of I'm going back to school now. So I'm like, took the classes and everything. Never
Hmm.
really formally did it for a client, but in class, definitely. Um, so they were like, my sister-in-law has a documentary that she needs music for, somebody to score. I said,
Hmm.
okay. Sister-in-law called me up and she explained the deal to me and what it was, and it was right up my alley, talking about slavery in Florida. I was like, yeah, I love that. That's it's all it's all it's all about learning.
Right,
you
right,
know
right, right.
so so we ended up doing, she sent me a version of this documentary. I think at the time when they were editing it, it was at
Hmm.
like version 7 or 8. So I was like, okay, so I'm going off of that at first. So the first, so I to so I said, okay, let me to make these people know that I'm very serious about this whole thing. Let me go ahead and send them the first. It's an hour documentary for one, and
Hmm.
so I said, let me send them the first 15 minutes. Took me 2 days to send the first 15 minutes. And I called you up and I was like, hey, I need some banjo. Because I sent you the rough of what I said, I got some keyboard banjo. Tell me how this sound. You like,
Blink, 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 blink. Yeah, no, sir. No, thank you.
and I tried to bend it. I was trying to bend it with the pitch bend. I was like, nah, this ain't it.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
So yeah, and then so I called you for the intro to Von Pennicott that plays saxophone with us with Gregory
Mm-hmm.
for the intro and stuff like that. So I was like, man, just give me, you was like, yeah, I'll give you a bunch of stuff. I said, thank you, I appreciate it. And I just spread it out throughout the whole documentary, the stuff that you had did.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first 15 minutes I sent them in 2 days. So she was very shocked that I sent it that fast. So
Mm-hmm.
she heard it, they heard it, and they were like, her and her staff, and she called me. I think it was I sent it on a Sunday. She called me that Monday, and she was like, Jamal, it sounds amazing. Did you tell me this? Did you happen to get the music from a website? Like take it.
Did you get it
And
from a
so
website?
what did I get from a website? And I was like, no, no. I said, no, it's coming from my head into my hands into, and the other musicians that I brought in with me. And she was like, oh my God, it sounds amazing. Wow. Wow. And she was just at a loss for
Mm-hmm.
words because I guess the prior person who they had was doing that, taking sound bites
Mm-hmm.
from a website, and they wanted something different, but it was never changed. And so
Mm-hmm.
they would tell me like they sent me a real interesting template of what they wanted, and so I was like, okay, I'll try to come as close to that, but it's gonna be me. You're gonna hear me, but it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be emulated how you guys sent it to me. And so that was a up and down race for real for me, because it took, they gave me a deadline of, I think it was like 2 months.
Mm.
And it's like, okay, well, it's a pandemic, I'm not really doing anything, I'm not going anywhere. So, but they would change with them editing the
Mm-hmm.
video, it would change my direction of how, what I was hearing for that particular
Right.
scene. And so it was
Right.
like, well, I wrote that part for this scene, but then you changed and put it here. So it was just a whole back and forth thing. And so finally got it to where everything made sense to me musically along with what was being said. And it was some
Mm-hmm.
deep stuff as you got deeper into the documentary. It was like, they said, it was like, dude, this a slave's uh the mother and the daughter died, and the slave owner was like, had she been a white woman, I would have wrote a song about it. It was like stuff
Mm.
like that that you had to deal with
Mm.
while you're trying to be creative. And it's
Right.
like,
Right.
I had to walk away from it for a couple of days before I
Mm.
came back to it.
Powerful.
And then once I
Powerful.
came back to it, it was like, okay, yeah, okay, I'm gonna, I wrote, wrote some very sentimental stuff on that part during the
Mm.
documentary. So yeah, so but then
And and y'all
yeah,
nominated for an Emmy too.
yeah. So months later,
Woo.
so it came out during like late spring, early summer. And
Mm-hmm.
when I'm doing this, when you're doing anything, you're not thinking Grammy or Emmy or anything like that. You're not. That's the last thing in my mind. I'm just like, I was just so happy to get it finished, and they loved the product.
Mm-hmm.
And when a month after I sent the stuff, she was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be on PBS all over the country." I was like, "What? Okay,
Mm.
thank you." That was enough shock for me. That was enough shock value for me. But then, um, about maybe 3 weeks ago, I get a text from the director saying, "Hey, Jamal, hope all is well. Um, just to let you know, the documentary is up for an Emmy." I was like, "What?" Oh, and then I called. She said, "Call me when you get a chance." So I called. I said, "Is this true, an Emmy?" She's like, "Yeah, Emmy." And we'll know the results next month. But Emmy, I was just like, I'm about to, I went in the kitchen and opened up a bottle of Cavassier. Went on my back patio, almost start shooting in there. So,
That's hey, I'm telling that's
I
a
mean, it's, it's
blessing,
it's a
brother.
blessing. It's a blessing because
Mm-hmm.
I did not once, while I was creating the music or creating the idea of what was going to be portrayed on this documentary, that at the end of the year that it would be up for an
Right.
Emmy nominated. And I'm like, what?
It was,
Wait a
but
minute,
you did an incredible job, man. I was so proud to be a part of it and
man,
hear it and listen to it. And I love the way you worked it. Your
man. Thank you.
mixing, engineering, production, all
Yeah,
of it.
yeah. That you
Smoking,
pick
man.
because even the engineer who actually did the final mixes and masters of it, he
Mm-hmm.
asked me. He said, "Can you mix it to where you hear it, to how
Mm.
you hear it?" Because I don't want to leave anything out or anything like that. So that respect came in. I was like, man, okay. So I just did
That's
a
beautiful.
little bit of mix on it to where I liked it and sent it off to him. And then I guess he just did a little tweaking here, just put the sheen on there, and
Okay.
and there you go.
Now it worked, brother. So
Thank
proud
you,
of you. So
thank you,
proud of you.
thank you.
Yeah, I ain't gonna tie you up with all
Oh
this stuff,
no,
but
you
I'm just
good.
so proud. I'm so proud. I'm looking through this list that my lovely daughter hooked me up with, and I had to brag, show that I could read. Daddy can read. So,
he played basketball in high school, and
right,
his teachers helped
right,
him.
right. His name is side hustle name is Lamont Evans. That's an alias, right?
Ooh man.
Uh, tell me about this new Porter album you own.
Okay, so it's two new albums. So he released one last year in the pandemic, also
Mm-hmm.
called "All Rise," and with this full length record, I mean, all original songs. I'm actually doing something that hasn't been done before on one of his records, or just
Hmm.
in the history of his band, where I'm playing electric bass and upright bass.
Yes.
You know, I incorporated
Yep.
the electric
Yes, you
bass in there,
did.
and so half the record I'm playing upright and electric. So now I'm switching a lot. You know,
Beautiful.
now that we're back out on the road doing stuff, so we're doing a lot of stuff from the new record, which is All Rise. And about, I think either last week or the week before, he just released another new record, which is like a compilation type deal, 34 songs. It's called Still Rising, which is a continuum of All Rise.
Hmm.
And so on that, I'm playing. It's like he has some songs from Liquid Spirit. He's doing 1960 what. He's doing those original
Hmm.
recordings. Had those original recordings, but we did redo two of his hits, which is real good. One is Real Good Hands,
Right.
and I played the electric bass on that, and
Hmm.
also No Love Dying. I played electric bass
Right.
on that
Right.
also.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yes,
Beautiful job. Yeah.
thank you, thank you. And so just incorporate just a different sound, a technique. You know, not taking nothing, not adding a bunch of notes or a bunch of
Hmm.
chops and licks or slap or anything like that. Just laying a foundation down for
Hmm.
him on electric bass. That's just a pronounced round blanket that a singer like him can lay on.
No, beautiful. You did a beautiful job, man. He sounds
Man,
great.
thank you, thank
Yeah.
you.
As far as I'm concerned, you with one of the premier jazz vocalists of our time right now.
Yes,
You
yes,
know,
yes, yes.
as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, me too, me too. And I mean, and it's like, you try to. A friend of mine reminded me of that last week. You know, no matter
Hmm.
what, you have to look at it and just be blessed, because I'm playing with one of the greatest voices of our
Hmm.
time that's going to go down in history. And it's like, man, dude,
Yeah.
it's even like going back to the All Rise album, like we did half of the record in Capitol Records in
Hmm.
LA, and then the other half in the Saint Germain area in Paris. And
Hmm.
so in the Capitol Records recording, I actually had my upright
Hmm.
there for those recordings. So I was really feeling good. So I was like, yeah, we gonna
Great
lay
video
down some
too.
stuff.
Great
Thank you,
video.
thank you. And
Now, is
then
that nominated for Grammy?
which one?
Because the Capitol Records project.
Oh, the All Rise, the first one that he
Hmm.
pulled out.
Hmm.
Yes, it got nominated in the R&B category,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I think that was probably because there was a lot of electric bass stuff in there. So,
Mm,
but I'm not sure exactly. But it was in the R&B. It was nominated for best R&B album.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So you getting out there, man. Nominated for Emmys on projects,
Oh
nominated for
yeah.
Grammys.
Oh yeah. I remember years ago, and this is how much like an influence that you have on me as a person and as a player. You always instilled in me, said, man, you need to get your discography up. Get
Got
your
to, baby.
discography up.
That's it.
And I
That's
was like,
everything.
I got to get my discography up some kind of way, whether it be your own stuff or you're playing as a sideman. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
and so I put out my record, of course, but then I also started just building my sideman stuff up,
Mm-hmm.
also records. And so, and then because you was like, you go on allmusic.com, that's where all the stuff
You got
is,
it.
where
You
where you
remember.
got,
You
yeah,
remember.
I remember. And so recently, last night, I went on all what's that? All
Music.com.
music. Yep, allmusic.com. And it says, what does it say? It says it's up on my computer. Uh 33 albums.
Man, is that
33.
crazy?
Went from one, which was no, I'm sorry, it was two. One was I was playing with the young lady out of New York. Her name was
Mm-hmm.
is Stephanie Roker. I did pretty much majority of her album, and then the other one was with Pink Eye the Gecko.
Oh, never heard of him. No, no, no. Okay. No, I'm I'm very familiar. He's in the studio right now cutting a new album, believe it or
Exactly,
not. Yeah,
as
yeah.
always. And so And so those were the only two that I had on All Music because that's whoever registered their work.
Right.
And I hadn't went on All Music since then, and that was maybe 2008, 9, maybe
Mm-hmm.
10.
That's a long time ago. Yeah.
And then I look up now, it's 33 records up there.
Is that amazing?
That's amazing,
Yeah.
man. It's a
That's
blessing.
it.
It's a blessing. I
That's
can,
that's how you end up in the history books. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Because people must know, dude. I don't care how fast you play, how many chops. And I ain't saying nothing bad about live gigs and playing
of
in
course.
clubs and people shaking their butt. But if God's blessed you to be able
Hmm.
to play, write, create, you got to find some way to get on wax.
You do,
You gotta complete the circle from
yeah.
looking, hearing a record as a child,
Hmm.
grabbing an instrument, learning how to play the instrument, and then ending up on a record so
Right.
that someday some child hears you on a record. They grab
Exactly.
and complete
Exactly.
this. It's a circle, man. It's a
It's
circle and a cycle.
exactly.
And
I remember one
beautiful.
time. I remember one time. I was in a grocery store, right, with my
Mm-hmm.
kids. I was in the grocery
Right.
store with my kids, and this was one of those star moments that
Right.
you hear
Right.
about.
Right. Right.
And like my kids, I'm getting stuff, and this guy he walked up to me. He said, "Man," he said, "Man, you look very familiar." I said, "Oh yeah." He said, "Man, are you a musician?" I said, "Yeah, I'm a musician." And he's like, "I've seen you somewhere. What do you play?" I said, "I play bass." He said, Man, you look super familiar." So he left and then came back. And he said, "Man, who do you play for?" I said, "I play for a gentleman named Gregory Porter." And he was like, "That's what, man, you're lying." And he just went into straight fan mode. And so my
I
kid,
say you
my
lying.
yeah, and so my kids looking at me, they like, he was like, "You know who this is?" And I'm like, "That's Daddy, dude. What are you talking about?"
Right. Right.
and,
Right.
and so
Right.
it was just like, it was one of those moments, and it's like, man, when people notice you, and a lot of people notice me not just because of my bass playing, they notice me, especially with the Gregory Porter gig. I'm
Mhm.
always smiling,
Right, right.
and
You
a
in the
lot of times
videos. You on a
I'm
lot of
standing,
video,
I'm
dude.
standing
Yeah,
right behind him. I'm
right
standing
behind.
right behind,
Looking like his baby brother.
right. And it's funny thing is, I get in Europe, I get confused for him. People think I'm him.
Right.
So whenever like we show up for sound check, it's already people, a line of people standing there waiting to get in. And I'm getting out there, say, "Mr. Porter, Mr. Porter, Mr. Porter, please sign." I was like, "I'm not Gregory." One dude got mad at me and was like, "Yes, you are." I said, "I'm not him. I'm not." And he was mad, like he was about to hit me. And I was like, "Oh no, here we go. Now I gotta be fighting in Austria."
Yeah, that never ends well.
that
That never
never
ends well.
that never end well. And then I remember one time, so we were playing in was it Glasgow? It was Scotland, somewhere in Scotland.
Hmm.
We got done, and after the show, we would normally come out and talk to the fans and handshake and take pictures and everything. And one lady came up, she said, "I loved your playing. You were amazing. You were the piano player, right?" I was like, if anybody out there knows the band, you know that our pianist is a 60-something-year-old white man named Chip Crawford.
Right,
Amazing musician.
right.
And that's another
And
thing.
his
I
soul and
get you.
spirit is very black.
Yes,
It's as black as Kinlock. His
yes,
soul, but that's not what you see. You don't
that
see Chip's soul. Oh, you hear it.
you hear it, and
But
if
you
you
got to
ever
at
heard
least
him
talk to
talk,
Chip three. Yeah, you got to talk to him for at least 3 minutes, and then
if
you
you talk
realize,
right, if you talk to him
okay,
for if you as soon as you talk to him and you hear how he talks, because he's from North Carolina,
right,
so he's a country boy from North Carolina. So
right.
and he has a very gravelly voice. "Hey man, you man, it's like," and that's how he and
But
the
y'all do not
crazy.
look alike. Y'all do
We
not
don't
look
look alike. We don't look nothing
right.
alike. And so,
But
but
Chip's an honorary soul brother. I give Chuck.
exactly.
Yeah, I
And
give him
so,
that.
the lady, she was convinced that I was the piano player. I was like, "Ma'am, that was not me. I was the guy standing behind Gregory, smiling." "Oh, we loved your smile. We lo-" But yeah,
Close enough, right?
right,
Close
right,
enough.
close enough. And I mean, it's a blessing, just to be in that band where you know you've been on the road with different bands, and you
Hmm.
understand not everybody gets along
Oh
on
yeah,
the
big
road.
time. Yeah, yeah.
And with that band, we are actually a close knit family
Yeah,
because of
you
the
can see it.
history. Because of the
Hmm.
history, even the
Right,
history
right.
even
Big
goes
time history.
deeper because me and Emmanuel, we grew up playing. He's from St. Louis as well. We grew up
Hmm.
playing together, coming up through the ranks in high school and everything else. And Chip was my jazz theory instructor at North Carolina Central when I went there in North Carolina, in Durham, North Carolina.
Wow.
And so, you talking about over 20 something years of us knowing each other, you
And
know.
Chip is the original player, keyboard player for Gregory,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
original pianist and Emmanuel's original drummer.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and
And what's great, I've heard
they've
you.
been in the band.
How long have you been with the band? Because I've seen you pretty much since you started, and I've heard you all evolve as a unit, which has been
Hmm.
miraculous. Like even what you just played now, the
Yeah,
evolution of these tunes,
yeah,
the magic's still there.
yes,
You brought a different flavor, but the flavor is still magical.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
and I've heard you all as a band just evolve, same melody, but a different palette, and it's
yeah.
absolutely amazing,
And it's
amazing.
I've been in the band myself personally about I started full time in 14, I think,
Okay.
2014, and then
Mm.
because I was doing sub work
Right, right.
for like 2 years prior to that, and yeah, and so been there full time since like 2014, and haven't looked back. And just we the thing is with Gregory doesn't sing the same way twice, like back to back. So but we don't even play the songs the same way, because there's no click, there's nothing like that.
Mm,
We just going off of pure emotion, and we're following him, we're not overplaying him, we're
right.
accompanying him. And so with the Chips genius, Emmanuel's genius, as a rhythm section, um, I said, okay, I have to figure out my part in this band
Mm,
and what I should do. So, I can make an impact to where, people and Gregory can hear like, oh yeah, he's doing the job. So I came in just saying, okay, I'm gonna play solid.
mm,
I'm gonna play solid bass behind this instrument of a
mm-hmm.
voice. And with
Right.
these two, and then on each side of me, I have two other geniuses that's playing their own stuff, but they're playing together, and
Mm-hmm.
they already had their thing, because they were playing in New York every week or just
Mm-hmm.
touring every day. So okay, I was like, okay, I'm the low man on the totem pole here, so let me just work my way into it. And those guys, they, of course, they help me with those road jitters of, am I playing too much? Am I playing not enough? Am I playing, no, Ma, you good, Ma, you playing the right stuff. You doing, just keep doing what you're doing. And I
Mm-hmm.
did. And so, after time went by, more and more time, I got um, to what song is that? Musical Genocide,
Right.
where
Beautiful.
I'm featured at the beginning of it,
Mm-hmm.
which is actually a good thing where I get to let Gregory have a break. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's been singing all night, so it's like, okay, okay, I'll give you, you got 5 minutes. There you go. Okay, and then, um, so I remember doing that, just doing the solo stuff, just trying to figure out whatever I wanted to play. Nervous as all hell, and then played, and then I was like, okay. And then one night in Birmingham, UK,
Mm-hmm.
I started Papa Was a Rolling Stone.
Right. Right.
Just playing the bass line.
Mm-hmm.
People went crazy, blah blah blah. And then um, the next night we went on to the next city, and I did the pop. No, I didn't even do the pop thing. I was doing my solo before Musical Genocide, and this had
Mm-hmm.
to been like 2015. And
Mm-hmm.
um, it must have got good to Gregory when he first heard it, because he yelled during my solo. He yelled during my solo, "Papa, Papa!" And I was like, oh, so I was about to say, okay, let me go ahead and boom, boom, and then he started singing it, and then
Right, right, right.
that became part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's been part
Yeah,
of the
I
show
saw
since.
you all do that. It was amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah. So it was like, oh wow, I must be doing something right, you know. And then I had on the other song, like when I first started incorporating the electric bass to the gig was just on one song. I would
Mm,
bring my electric bass for one song, and I would hope that
right, right.
he would call it. Sometimes he would call it, sometimes he wouldn't. And that's a song he has called Free. And
Okay.
so it was like, okay, so we started you know, Free would come on, and then it was like, okay, I switched to electric, and he liked the way it sounded. So he didn't tell me don't play that. So I was like, okay, okay, I'm gonna keep on
Mm,
doing it. So he would walk off the stage. We came up with an outro. The band came up with an outro where cats would leave one by one, and it
mm,
would be me and Emmanuel, the last ones on the stage.
okay.
So then I like we were trying to figure out something to build off of, and so I was like, "Oh man, they got to figure out something that where everybody knows as we could do as bass and drums." So that's when I incorporated "Come Together."
Right, which is killer. I saw
Yeah.
you do that too. Killer.
And then I'd go into the slap stuff and everything else like that when I do the head. So I play the bass line, gong, gong,
Right, right.
and then I play the melody. I slap the melody, and then people go
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Ah, ah. As soon as they hear the bass line, they go crazy. But then when I start playing the melody, they go even crazier. Then after I play the melody, it'll come together right now. And then go
Listen,
into a
listen. You
slap
hear him
whole
sing?
thing.
You hear him sing? Did y'all hear him sing? We got you, baby.
Trash,
No,
trash.
that sound good. That sound good, baby.
and so so I started doing the slap stuff and doing like that stuff, and it's like and they go crazy. Then I just ended on that, and then I walk off, and then that just became a part of the show too. You know.
Beautiful, beautiful, brother.
Thank
No,
you.
I love it. I love it. What I was going to say too is that in listening to you,
Hmm.
because I was familiar with the group back when they had Be Good, even before you got in the band,
Yeah.
and it worked. But listening to how Chip plays piano, listen to how
Hmm.
Emmanuel plays drums,
Hmm.
you really, to me, listening to you all, you work almost like how Ron Carter kept Tony
Mm.
Williams and Herbie together,
Yeah.
so that Miles worked.
Yeah.
Because if you
Yeah.
had picked any other way of going,
Mhm.
I don't think it would have landed the same way. I
Well,
think
well,
the
the thing is,
brilliance of the way you put it together, beautiful, man.
yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, that was another song. Like, and prior to me soloing on uh at the by myself on musical genocide, he would let me, you know, at times get a solo on that song on Be Good.
Mm,
And
mm,
so and but the thing is, like with me and the way I think about music
mm-hmm.
is as far as coming from a bass player's perspective, you know, it's not
Right.
about chops, it's about groove and feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's about groove, feel, and rhythm.
Yes,
And
sir.
I'm not trying to get in the way of him portray, you know, trying to tell his story.
Mm-hmm.
Be good. It's her name because he will not sing it like he did on the original record.
Mm,
He will play little inflections. He'll sing ad libs. He'll do a lot of different stuff, and I don't want to get in the way of that or Chip or Emmanuel. You know, because
right,
we're still
right.
human, and so it's a human thing up there, and we're up there playing with each other. So we're having a conversation at the same time, but we're all playing at the same time. So it's like, okay, you hear ding, 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 ding,
Mm,
and then Chip comes in
mm-hmm.
with whatever, and he's just gonna play whatever he's hearing to accompany Gregory, because Gregory's
Right.
melody is gonna change. The words are the same, but the way
Mm-hmm.
he sings it, it's in a major key, but he may go to a dominant seven on the first
Mm,
chord, and then Chip is right there, and it's like he just doing, and then Emmanuel's just instantly gonna go with Chip, and
right,
so I'm
right,
just like,
right.
okay, I'm just gonna hold this anchor, and y'all just, I got you, I got you.
Oh, it works, dude. It
Yeah,
works. Y'all a
thank you,
powerful ensemble.
man,
Powerful.
thank you.
Yeah, I love the ensemble production way more than I do the kind of orchestrated
Okay,
version.
yeah,
I think that's for me, just personally, it's too much for me.
I got
But
you. Yeah, I mean, but
but
it was
the
crazy
raw
too.
essence of the band, psh,
Mhm.
y'all band is just beautiful with Gregory.
Man, thank you so much. Yeah, and it's crazy because like with different ensembles. Like we played different orchestra gigs where
Mm-hmm.
um, where the band, us, the core band, we don't have charts. So it's the original records like On My Way to Harlem,
Mm-hmm.
uh, uh, No Love Dying, a lot of stuff. And it's like, okay, we don't have charts. So it's like we just playing off of whatever, like Liquid Spirit, all this stuff. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, we're listening to them, and it's like, okay, cool, we'll figure that out. But then when we
I couldn't
but we
fathom that.
but dude, it's like, okay, and then we went to what was that who was that when Richmond Dozer was conducting. It was for
Mm-hmm.
the Nat King Cole and Me stuff. So that was
Right.
a little bit more. We had to go by the
Orchestrated.
chart.
Right.
Yeah, it had
Right.
more orchestrated where we had to go by the chart because it was all
Mm-hmm.
Nat King Cole stuff. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got an orchestra gig December 7th with Vanessa
nice.
playing up in Buffalo with the symphony. And I could
Oh, beautiful.
not imagine doing a symphony date with no charts. Jesus. With just the orchestra, they got their thing and we just kind of, oh, dude, I couldn't fathom that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, oh, dude,
Ooh.
it's funny. It's like we like he does a version of work song,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no chart, so it's like, okay, let's see how we're gonna do this. So it's just, work song is just a pretty much modal tune, but it's like they have different chord changes in the song, in the
Mm-hmm.
orchestration. And so it was like
Right.
we were trying to listen to where certain parts came in. And it was like, okay, gotcha now. Okay, gotcha now. Then it came to the show.
Okay.
It's like, okay, we of course we rehearse, during
Right,
those times
right.
with the orchestras and stuff like that. So
Oh, that's crazy. I see we're coming up on that hour.
okay.
I want to at least ask you a little bit about the Carnegie Hall, Royal Albert Hall gig.
Oh man. So yeah, a few years ago we did Carnegie Hall. He has a in New York, he does a Valentine's Day show every year around about the 14th of February. And normally it's at Town Hall in New York.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that one year it was uh Carnegie Hall. And I was like,
Beautiful.
"Oh man, that's that's beautiful." And then we get there, sold out,
Mm-hmm.
sold out Carnegie Hall. And I mean, just walking into places like that, the history, the like we just did Royal Albert Hall as well,
Mm-hmm.
sold out five, no, four shows uh, in a row
Amazing.
at Royal Albert Hall. Sold out. And it was just like beautiful. I mean, we had the smaller orchestra with us and all we did was just the new stuff from um, All Rise album. But the first
Mm.
night we did Royal Albert Hall recently, it was he wanted to get loose a little bit, so he called musical genocide. And it was
Mm.
like, because we never know what he's gonna call until he
Right,
calls it.
right,
And so
right.
it's like he's like musical. And I was like, oh man. So to perform like solo bass on the stage at Royal Albert Hall, and I've done it
That's
numerous of
historic,
times.
right?
Like I've done it before because we've
Mm-hmm.
done Royal Albert Hall a couple of times before. Like maybe I think maybe a total of like 10, 12 times. And
Mm-hmm.
each time, like besides the last three shows that we did there, I've
Mm-hmm.
always did a bass solo on the stage at Royal Albert Hall in London. And and I did it also in at Carnegie Hall also, and
Mm.
so just it's a blessing to be able to play on those big stages, on those historic stages.
Historic. Yes,
Historic
sir.
stages. It's
Yes,
it's
sir.
it's it's just like, and in historic studios like Capitol Records,
Mm-hmm.
that playing in the the what do
The
they call
house
it? The
that
house that
Nat,
Nat
the
built.
house that Nat built.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
in the same studio that him and
Yes,
Frank
sir.
Sinatra sang in, Studio A.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
Yeah.
dude, it's like the aura of just the aura in there. It's just like, man, bring your 100% game. And then it was crazy too. We were doing what's that? The All Rise album. So we
Mm-hmm.
were doing Studio B instead of A. So I come out of Studio A, I'm not Studio B, and going outside just to get some fresh air. And coming out of Studio A, guess who it was?
Cool.
Abraham Laboria.
Never heard of him.
And he's a
What?
big fan of Gregory, and so I was just like, sir, I said, I'm a
Jesus.
big fan of yours. He's like,
Oh,
oh
oh
no,
my
no,
God.
no, oh man, dude,
Even the
you
stuff
just,
he's done with Jerome and everybody,
whew,
and he's
man,
so humble, man.
so
Abraham is,
humble,
and his son.
beautiful.
His son's a bad boy too.
Yeah, on drums. Yes. I was just like, when I saw him, I was just like, it's just one of those moments where you like, oh man,
Right, taking it back.
it's like like if I saw Anthony Jackson or somebody, just sitting there, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, do you know you a god? You are a
Oh
bass
yeah.
god to me? You
Mm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
so many people don't get that, man. And it's like, man, that's
Mm-mm.
a blessing to be able to meet those people in situations where okay, he just
Right.
happened to be recording this the same time we are. It's like, man,
Amazing.
it's that those are the moments that you cherish the most.
Man, you
And
you came a long way from London and Sons chicken wings, baby.
right, sprues, chicken and
Spruce.
spaghetti
Yeah,
and
yeah, long way
fish.
from Spruce, baby. And ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. You
That's
had
how
humble
that's how you.
humble beginnings, humble
Yes,
beginnings.
sir. Yeah, that's I
Humble
heard
being
some good
playing
spaghetti.
playing Jing Lins, 8 to 12, 9 to 1, stuff places like
Where
that
the,
that you
where the
don't hear
band don't
about
drink for
anymore.
free. No free drinks
Exactly.
for the
Nope, no
band.
free drink. You got to pay full price, not even a discount. Well, at least the Spruce did get one drink ticket. You got one drink ticket and one food ticket.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, see, I unfortunately I've never played Spruce, never got an opportunity. I've been in there twice. I got to look
Oh
around
man.
twice, but I
Yep.
never
Frank
never
Spade
played.
doing sound. Everybody. Yeah, I remember those days, man. Golly.
Too funny. Well, give me one idea before we get out of here on endorsements. Any shout outs on
Oh,
some of the favorite
yes. I
your
want to
favorite
shout
stuff you playing
this
now?
man. So Anaconda bases, of course, with the signature Jahmal Nichols model, which is available now for any bass player that wants to purchase
Hmm.
anything as bass wise. You will not be disappointed with this bass.
I will get mine
Also,
next year, definitely.
yes, sir, yes, sir. Also,
Hmm.
Ike Electronics. I mean, not electronics, but amplification.
Hmm.
This company is a German company, um, based out of Germany, and
Hmm.
they make amazing amps. This is a 1012 cabinet with 1,000-watt head. I have two of these cabinets that they custom made for me color wise. They can do custom colors and everything else like that.
Beautiful.
Also, I want to shout out Tsunami Cables, top
Oh,
of the
beautiful.
line custom cables um, that they made for me
Those
years
look
ago.
beautiful.
So
They look beautiful.
yes, I mean they're very very durable. Even the tips are custom made. So those are
Oh,
wood.
Jesus.
That's wood. So I got the
Mm.
red, black, and green, which is
How they find the
the
green
colors of the
wood
Pan
like
African
that?
flags.
Where they find
Man,
that
they
green wood?
dyed it that the mold underneath the patio. You know, I sent off some moldy chips of wood, and they were like, "Oh, this has
Absolutely.
worked perfectly."
That's
So a little bit.
beautiful.
So
Beautiful.
sometimes if I touch it and I rub my eyes may turn a little red. So
Beautiful cables.
and
Yeah, I might have.
also
Hmm.
no, what is that?
I was gonna say I have to give them a call, see if they got any more of that green wood.
Ragweed, in other words, yes.
Ragweed for my banjo and my basses. Yes, sir.
Say I need that earthy tone.
Yes, sir. Can't live without it.
Okay,
Who else you got?
and
Who else you got?
also uh Dunlop strings. Dunlop strings, which is I use the Marcus Miller Super Brights.
Oh yeah, those are great strings. Wonderful.
Yes, I love them. Love
So
them,
you
love
like
them.
a high
Like and I'm
45? You like a 45 on your G?
yeah, yeah, 45
Okay.
to 125.
Okay.
So
Ooh,
yeah, I
boy, a
can't do the
heavy E.
130s. I can't
I mean, oh,
I
the
can't
B,
do
your B. Okay.
yeah, my B is not so a lot of cats use 130s. I use
Right, right.
125s. I can't do
Okay.
130s. 130s are too heavy for me. I'm like, whoa, whoa. And so also an extension of Dunlop is MXR. I use MXR pedals also.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
like their bass preamp and stuff like that. I use that stuff. Um, Also for microphones, for my bass, I use Ear Trumpet Lab, the
Oh,
Nadine,
beautiful. Oh,
which is
beautiful.
I record home and I take it on the studio live with me. So that's the Nadine, and it comes in this heavy duty
Oh, that's
case also.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
sound is amazing.
Man, that looks very
I plug it up
expensive.
to Avalon.
Do
Yeah,
they take
they
do they
run.
have a layaway? They got a layaway program like
I don't think
Grandpa
they got a
Pigeon?
layaway.
Like grandpa's
Grandpa's 15%
you think
down.
we you think we get Shaq to come in around Christmas and pay my pay my pickup off?
Say try to
Just pay for my Christmas present, you know.
right, right. So just stand in line and just look at them. Like,
Yeah, that
yeah,
case. Yeah, the case. I don't even think I can afford the case of that pickup. That look nice,
man, yeah,
man.
that but it's a heavy duty,
I love your bass
heavy duty
tone. Your
case.
upright tone is insanely great. So yeah. So
Man,
no,
thank you, thank you.
you getting
I
it
learned
done,
that the
brother.
hard way. I learned that the hard way. Gentleman from St. Louis, Carlos Henderson, John's
Right,
nephew.
right, right.
Um, he he heard me in high school, and
Mm-hmm.
he was like, "Man, you're playing a lot of beautiful stuff, man. I love your note choices and everything else, but your sound." He's like, "Man, when you play this bass, man, I want the person in the back of the room to be able to hear you.
Mm,
So the next time I see you, you know, I haven't seen him since that day.
mm,
And but that's instilled in me to play with more volume and attack. And so until I got it under control, I think I actually fractured my finger
mm.
playing because it like this. Wait a minute, was it this one or it was my middle finger. I
Okay.
would play so hard that I could not
Yeah,
bend this because
don't show the
I
middle
would play
finger.
Delmar.
Yeah, don't show
Right,
the
right. I'm
middle
not gonna
finger
show.
on the
That's why I
internet.
said. That's why I said.
Yeah, hide it. Hide it. Kids might be watching
And so,
this.
right, right. And
Right.
so I ended up like I used to play Delmar Lounge without an amp. It'd
Okay.
be packed,
That's
and I
crazy.
was just
Crazy.
playing, and just to develop a bigger sound. And so once I
No,
got
your sound's
older,
huge, dude.
I
Yeah, it's
learned how to
huge.
control
Yeah.
it. I could
No, you
control it
got it.
lot better now. Thank you,
Yeah, I
thank you.
play upright like a kitten. So I need about three
Right, you
microphones.
just blow.
Yeah.
Right, you blow on it. It's C
Yeah,
nine.
that's it. Yeah, yeah. Yep. Yeah, after 60,
Right,
you'll find out after 60 your hands hurt. So yeah, you ain't yeah, I ain't trying to yeah, if the people in the back can't hear me, they need better seats.
right, there you go. There you go. Say, pay
Right,
that
yeah.
extra $100,
Yeah.
please.
Right, I ain't playing for the cat who bought a ticket for 20. Yeah. Yeah,
Right,
you
right, right.
as far as I'm concerned, you snuck in if you way back there.
Oh, and also I endorse this hat company also.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Prized article. Brother out of he's out of Atlanta, but he's from St. Louis.
Oh,
Raymond
beautiful,
Avant.
beautiful.
On
Okay.
Instagram, he goes by the Bremologist, and so you
Okay.
can look up all type of custom hats and everything. He calls this the Black Frequency hat, you know. So
Applause
hey,
on that one. That's nice. Yeah, that hat. That's your
yes
hat.
sir,
That look like you, man.
yes sir,
Yeah, you can't be
yes
from
sir.
St.
Got
Louis
to.
without a hat. Only reason I ain't got no hat right
You
now, it's
can't.
not compatible with my headphones. Yeah,
Right.
I'm saving up. Well, I ain't gonna keep you on here long. I know we're gonna have to start shutting it down, but man, I just
Mhm.
appreciate you so much. Thank you for being part of City
Man,
Jazz Sessions
man,
and
thank
my
you for
first
having.
interview. Oh, come on, man. No, we always the door's always open to you, brother. All that wisdom you got,
Yes sir.
and then now I can get a hat,
Oh man.
an expensive pickup for Christmas. Yeah, you just you show me
And
all the
and
things
some
I want for
cables.
Christmas.
And some
And some
cables.
cables, right, with the green
Yep.
wood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. You
yeah,
know.
we doing
What
all
can you
right.
say?
Well, I just want to
Yes
thank
sir.
everybody. I want to thank everybody in at City Jazz and Ronnie Barrage told me to tell you hi.
Ronnie, what's up,
Yeah,
Ronnie?
and he's proud of you. And Jay Ross always say hi. Told me Well, I love J Ross TV, so got to give a shout out to J Ross and everybody. And
J.
just want
Ross,
to say,
my
there you
dog.
go. There you go. Yeah, there you go. All right,
Hey, yo,
brother.
wow.
There oh, Jesus. You're doing impersonations, y'all, for free. For a
For
reason.
free.
Hey,
Free
for
99.
Yeah, there you go.
I
There
do
you go.
birthday cards, everything. Calling cards, anything you need. I got you.
That's too funny. Well, brother, thank you
You get
so
a
much
free
for being a
CD
part.
with every purchase.
No, that ain't free, baby. No, music, you pay for music. It's
You gotta
2021.
pay for music.
You got to
Right.
pay for music, baby. We're trying to get that back. Trying to get that back.
Yes,
I just want
sir.
to thank you so much for being a part of all of this, and hope everybody has a blessed night. And thank you for being a part of my first interview. We won't talk about the real
Man.
first interview. We'll talk about this. This my
Right.
first interview. Okay, there you go.
Right. We're gonna talk about our first interview,
Our
though. We're
first
not gonna
interview.
talk about
Yeah,
this.
this the real interview. This was the
This the-
best interview of all interviews. All right, everybody. Well,
Man,
let's go
thank
on and
you,
wind
Al.
it off and say Merry Christmas, everybody. All right, thank you.
City Jazz Sessions is brought to you by St. Louis City Jazz, a 501c3 company dedicated to music education and appreciation. The CEO is Magic Man 50, and for more ways to connect with City Jazz Sessions, visit cityjazzsessions.wixsite.com/St. Louis. The City Jazz Sessions team includes host, content director, and guest coordinator, jazz great Ronnie Barrage. Follow Ronnie at ronniebarrage.biz. Host, website designer, graphic artist, content director, and guest coordinator, singing sensation Leica. Discover more about Leica at leicamusic.com. Additional production services are provided by Lions Den Productions. Go to thelionsdenstl.wixsite.com/home. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe for more great content.